My name's Mary. Today I decided to sit down and share a story time video with you because story time videos seem to be absolutely taking over YouTube right now. That's like the hot topic. Everybody's coming out with like their horror stories or like sex stories or weird things that have happened to them. I decided to sit down with you guys and share one of my storytime videos. Now keep in mind I'm only 19 years old, so not a whole lot has happened in my life so far. I literally sat down and wrote down exciting things that happened in my life, and some of them might not be that exciting, but I went over this story with like a couple of my friends and family members, and they're like, yeah, that's something cool you should tell people. Me and my best friend's first time ever using a Ouija board. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. We were about 14 or 15 at the time. This was when she lived about a block away from where I still live here, and she lived about a block away. So we would like walk to each other's houses like all the time after school on the weekends. And we're both into thrift store shopping, and one day she calls me up and she's like, hey, I bought a Ouija board at a thrift store. Do you want to play with me? That sounded kind of creepy, but that's kind of how it went. So I was like, I guess. Like, my mom has a Ouija board, and we keep it in the shed because she will not let it in the house at all. Like, and I'm like, why do you have it then? And she's like, I don't want to get rid of it. Like, whatever. At the time, there was an empty house across the street from me, like literally across the street, like probably like 10 feet away. We're like, oh, stupid little 14-year-olds, what's the best place to play with the Ouija board than an empty, abandoned house? Smart, right? I think it was like spring or summertime. We were hanging out and we told my mom that we were just going to her house, and we totally lied and like walked around the corner to the house across the street. We go through the back gate, like the house is like in front, and then there's a side gate which leads to the backyard. So we decided to go through the gate. The gate was unlocked and everything. The back door was unlocked. Cool. So we just let ourselves in and we kind of just like explore the house, and we noticed like a lot of household stuff is still there. Like there's mattresses on the floor and toiletries in the bathroom and stuff like that, and we're like, we thought this place was empty, but maybe they left some stuff. I don't know. But we're, just kind of wandering the house, exploring, going through people's stuff, like stuff we probably should not be doing. Well, I mean, we broke into a freaking house, like, come on. We decided to go down into the basement and use the Ouija board. This basement is like sketchy as hell. Like, we are two little 14-year-old girls in like a really sketchy house in a really sketchy basement. And we're like, oh yeah, no big deal. Like, we didn't think anything of it. Like, we just wanted to be spontaneous and play with the Ouija board in an empty house. We're in this basement, and obviously there's no electricity, so it's like dark as hell. We start doing we put our fingers on the little planchette, and we're like doing the little chant and like using the Ouija board, and nothing's happening. And I'm already like freaked out because like we're in a dark basement, it's sketchy. So we're trying to get it to work and it's not working, and I'm like ready to give up because it's not working. I'm scared, but she doesn't care. Like, she just keeps going. She's like, come on, we can get this to work. We were about to leave. We were about to, like, leave the freaking house. Then Lily's like, oh, come on, let's try it at least one more time before we go. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we try it one more time. We're doing the little chant, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts moving. And I'm, like, sitting there, like, I have my fingers barely on the planchette, and I'm like shaking, and I'm like, are you doing this? You were doing this. Like, there's no way that this is moving on its own. She's like, I'm not doing it. I thought you were doing it. Arguing back and forth, like thinking the other one's doing it when neither of us were doing it. We're like freaking out. I just take my hands off. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, this thing's moving. I'm done. Lily's like, no, you can't take your fingers off. Like, something bad will come out if you take your fingers off. So I put my fingers back on, and then we like closed out of the conversation. We said, Ouija, are you there? And then it just moved to yes. We both flipped out, and then Lily's like, no, we need to close out. So we move it, like, we're like, goodbye, and then it moves to goodbye, which means you can take your fingers off. And what the hell? Oh my god, this is why I don't like talking about this. Sorry, my nose is running too. Next thing that happens is I bolted up these basement stairs. I'm such a shitty friend. I left her in a dark ass basement with a Ouija board by herself. I was like, every man for himself. So I ran up the stairs. I just left her behind. At the time, I was like so scared. I wanted to get out of there. And then she's like yelling for me. She's like, wait for me, wait for me. And she comes, I'm like waiting at the top of the basement stairs. She comes running up the stairs. She trips, hurts her finger, and I'm like, come on, come on, come on. I was probably freaking out way more than she was. She probably thought it was hilarious. It like moved one time and I'm freaking. We bolted out of the house and we're like standing in the backyard like breathing all heavy and like we're like, what was that? What just happened? Like what did we just do? We're kind of like laughing about it. She's like, I can't believe you left me behind. And I'm like laughing. I'm like, sorry. We're just like breathing heavy. We put like the Ouija board on the grill and we're like let's not do this again. But then, you know, we kind of got the bright idea later on to like play with it again, but that's like a whole nother story. Then like the next door neighbor like heard us like laughing and stuff, and he's like, you two shouldn't be over there, you don't live there, nobody lives there. And then we're like, okay, bye. And then we just left. And here's the catch. So we found out the reason why there was like a ton of like household stuff there was because there were squatters living in that house. We could have gotten killed by freaking squatters. If that doesn't scream danger, then I don't know what does. That's basically me and my best friend's first experience using Ouija board. Barely anything happened and we both flipped out and it was kind of hilarious. I'm thinking about it now, it's like hilarious. Like we were so stupid. Basically, long story short, don't enter an abandoned house. Number one, it's illegal. Number two, you can get your ass killed. And number three, don't bring a Ouija board into an abandoned house because that's just a bad idea. Do not do what we did. So that's basically my first time ever using a Ouija board, and it was freaking nuts, but it was fun and it's kind of a nice memory to think about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to hear more storytime videos. I have a few more story ideas in my head. So I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya!